Hi, I'm Panda Hershey with Your Full Expression. Welcome to the December 7th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about wrapping up whatever exploration you've been doing of all your options and seeing the big picture and beginning the implementation phase. On Monday, December 12th, the Mercury portal opens, and this begins our 2-month journey of taking all those details from the Mars retrograde and putting them into some kind of structure that you can work with. The Mercury and Mars portals cover 8 to 25 degrees, and what that means is that they touch the same parts of us. But the signs are really different, so they feel really different. Mars in Gemini has been about getting your ideas out there, really putting your heart into it and defending them and working hard for them. Mercury in Capricorn is about picking the right details and assembling them into something that you can work with, into some kind of framework. And this is what we'll be trying to do over the next 2 months. And what's going to be really apparent is how these things come together sometime around mid-January, when both Mercury and Mars will be passing through 8 to 9 degrees of their respective signs. On the call, I also talk about another way to find your growth path over the next 2 months. And really what it boils down to is working with and through the people who really get you and exploring through them what makes you stand out so that you can hone your message and bring in more people who really appreciate what you have to say. As always, we'll watch the movement of the planets, and I'll give you some key dates to pay attention to, including the full moon that happens tonight, which has a little extra oomph behind it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.
So it has been a very long 3 weeks, in my opinion. And lots been going on with that. And when we spoke last time, I talked about how it was an opportunity to try something new, or be exposed to that possibility, because Sagittarius is that recognizing that the community has something that offers you, like either a bigger vision or their opinions, or not necessarily opinions, but the possibilities beyond yourself that you couldn't think of on your own. And so it's also a time to share share what you know with someone. And what's great about all of that is all of those possibilities. And at least in my life, that's kind of what I've been dealing with, is the possibilities. But I'm very much a let's get to implementing it person, which is what Capricorn is all about. And so, just like you guys, I have to live with the astrology that exists, the movement of the planets that exist, and some things are more comfortable than others. And I keep thinking, oh, well, I can just make myself do it. And I spent up until last Sunday struggling with, okay, I've got to get this stuff done. And it just couldn't come together. And that's where finally, like, the planets moved enough to bring me the ideas I needed and start to have some of that vision of how things actually come together. So if that has been your experience, then just know you're not alone. And I try to share mine so that that one example of how it shows up for someone. But we are getting into that phase of that Mercury portal opening and a lot of Capricorn, which is hard work because it means bringing people together. All of these community signs, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, are about being in connection. And that's what hopefully we can try to do more of. And a key part of that is finding the crowd that you need to connect with or that you are connecting with. And I'm going to skip to this second bullet point because what I realized with Saturn right now in Aquarius moving forward, it's not only about releasing the things that are heavy. So that is a very broad statement. And what I think I realized, it's releasing opinions, because I always think of Aquarius as people's opinions or the suggestion boxes. And so letting go of the opinions of people that you don't care about anymore is what some of this is about. It may be society telling you, you have to do this, and you're saying, nope, I don't need to. But once you've done that, then what do you get to do? You get to focus on the opinions you do care about. And the next step is understanding a little bit of how you guys are on the same page. How do they feel when they're with you? How do you feel with them? What is your shared experience? And from that, we'll get to find our growth. But that is sort of what's happening right now in terms of the deeper energies inside us as we try to get things going and put together a framework. Who are we setting that framework up for? It's for us to be in community. And more than ever in this world right now, we need community. We need to work together, work with each other to make it through. And hopefully this helps you think about it a little differently in your own life about how you're doing that. So tonight is the full moon at a little after 8 o'clock. And then, and so that happens when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. And we'll see that in just a moment. But not only that, the moon is going to be exactly crossing over Mars at that exact same, like 20 minutes later. So what does that mean? So the moon is that need or that instinct or that feel like this urge inside you, and it will be in Gemini crossing over Mars. So this real need to get the details, get your ideas out for this bigger picture, because the sun is in Sagittarius, right? And so those are opposite. So just a word of caution. If there are hot topics in your life right now, and you are in a place where you might be putting those out there, just maybe give the person you're with a heads up that I might, I'm feeling a little like urgency here, or be a little patient with me, because that may be a time where you let it go and let it out into the world, or they may do the same. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. Okay, so on to the movement of the planets. So here we are today, and here is the sun, Sagittarius, opposite the moon. And remember, this is at noon, so it will take a little time for it to get to 15 degrees and be across from the sun. And then it will cross over Mars just 20 minutes later. So you can kind of see that full moon in play right now. And that may be a little bit of oomph if you need to get something going. Maybe a good time for a conversation that is needed if you've been putting up with something for a while. It's tomorrow. And I don't want to say it's quiet, because it all depends on what your personal chart is and all your tools. But the next kind of global thing is on December 12th, Monday, we have Mercury going into 8 degrees of Capricorn, and that opens the Mercury portal. So we'll have 2 months of thinking about how to put things together into some kind of framework, some kind of overall game plan for not just you, but for you and the people around you. And this may be different frameworks for you with other people. And this will take some time. And on the 16th, 4 days later, so that'll be Friday, next Friday, Venus starts to enter that portal. And so if the Mercury is talking about it, like thinking about the framework, Venus is almost like buy-in. There is appreciation of the framework that has to come together. So if you've been like me, trying to get this framework together, that's, a week away. And here I am thinking I need to do it today, but it may not start coming together for me for a little while. And it may be the same for you. And then the next day, the sun finishes moving across from that Mars portal. So it's almost like you've got the complete picture now of what that Mars portal has been bringing you in terms of the all the details, all the information that's been coming in, and wondering what to do with it. By the 17th, the next Saturday, you should hopefully feel like, okay, I definitely can see all the things that are happening here. I've tried all the new things. It's time to begin the implementation phase. And then on the 20th, Jupiter enters the sign of Aries. So Jupiter has been in Pisces for quite a while now, and Pisces is about being on the same page with people, feeling in sync with people, and understanding their experiences, and having that kind of sharing humanity. I always talk about it as everyone going to a movie and feeling the excitement when the battle's about to start, or when the two people at the end find each other and there's so much relief, like that shared experience. And we have been growing through finding those people we feel connection with. So if you think about ignoring the opinions you don't care about anymore, who is around you that gets you, that you feel in sync with? That's where your growth is coming from. And as Jupiter moves into Aries, that will be there, being able to hear your message, being able to hear what you have to say. And that will start on December 20th. And the next day, which is when we meet again, the sun moves out of Sagittarius into Capricorn. That is also just the definition of the winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's time to start putting that framework together. And that's when we'll all get together again. So I'm going to go backwards. We'll watch that one more time. Okay. Okay. So just kind of turning to your retrograde portal guides, if you've got them. I should have gotten rid of, sorry, the box is no longer relevant. But if you have something at 16 degrees, this is where you may feel this full moon tonight with the moon crossing over Mars. So it may feel this, you may feel this extra urgency on the details. Yes. Oh, sorry. Okay. Jupiter. I wanted to add this question here. So if you're thinking about your growth and how you're going to expand in the world, this Pisces part is about finding the people that you are in sync with. because these are the ones that are ready to hear your message and notice you from December 21st to February 14th, which is the end of the whole portal. And then there's some kind of overflow as things start to show up. But by really focusing, you don't need to pull the people who you don't feel connected to in. Just there are already people in your life, and maybe they connect you to others who are going to get you, that you want to understand, and that they want to be on the same page with you. And find those, tap into those people, talk to those people, and ask, what is it about me that, helps you enjoy what I have to say? What makes me stand out? And that will be your path forward over the next couple months. And then on Monday, the Mercury portal opens here for me. You can see it in your own guide. The portal here is in 9 and a tiny bit of 10. And so, just some things to think about is, how am I using my wisdom and experience to pull things together? And one of the things that's so fascinating is that the degrees of this portal are the exact same ones as the Mars portal. So it's like using all the details that came in from the Mars, whatever has gotten you excited since September, assembling all of that into some kind of framework. Now, if you feel as though you're revisiting things from a year ago, there's a reason for that, because the Venus retrograde last year, actually when we started all of Coffee and Charts, was over these degrees as well. It was from 10 degrees of Capricorn to 26.5 degrees of Capricorn. And so you were being invited at that point to show how you could step up, show how you could put things together. And now you've come full spiral. So not in the exact same place, but you have developed and come back around to see where you've been. And this is a good time to really think about that and what you've offered up, how far you've come. Really congratulate yourself on all that has happened. And we're going to take it deeper during the next 2 months. And so, tying it all together into some kind of story, the bigger picture is coming into focus. That's what these last 3 weeks were all about, but grounding it is what is coming. And so once the Mercury portal opens on Monday, we'll be able to start putting all those details into that framework that facilitates our growth over the next 2 months. And to make the most of it, I think that focusing on who gets you is a really good place to start. So we start today with a little oomph on that full moon, as the moon is opposite the sun and crosses over Mars. So some action, get those details and other information you need so that you can see the bigger picture and do something about it. Kind of have this, we need to try whatever this is. The 12th, the Mercury portal opens. How do you begin to put all of the details together into a framework or plan that works for you and the people around you? And this is just the beginning. So it doesn't all happen on the 12th. It will take time up until December 29th. Then you work it back and say, okay, what needs adjusting? And then as you move forward again at the end of January, middle of January into early February, it's like the second pass at getting that framework together. And remember, the frameworks are only that. They don't have all the details. You just put the skeleton together and you fill things in as you go. And then on the 16th, as Venus comes through that portal, it's hopefully, I'm looking forward to some buy-in. from people who are impacted or involved in the framework I'm trying to put together. And then on the 17th, we get the sun opposite the end of the Mars portal. So if you've been kind of trying to try some new things, it's time to start wrapping it up so that you can begin implementing. And on the 20th, Jupiter enters Aries. So now that you're surrounded by the right people and you recognize that, you can step out and be noticed. And then as the sun enters Capricorn, we'll get to start pulling it all together and do a lot of work. Okay, some tips for thriving. First, be patient with yourself. Remember, as we go through these times of the Mercury retrograde, Mercury is far ahead of the sun. We've talked about how the sun takes time to catch up. And so for those two things to come together, where the sun and Mercury are on top of each other, is another month from now. So there will be this lag of feeling like your ideas and your brain are far ahead, but the execution on that is taking time to catch up. So patience with yourself, patience with the people around you that you're asking to do things or to get on board on this framework. It's going to take some time. And as you try to figure out that growth path, how you're going to expand, where your hope is, thinking about who gets you and which crowd you're in sync with, talk to them. Actually, this is what I've been doing, is trying to understand what it is that makes me stand out. How do they feel when they're with me? What do they get from spending time with me? And that will help me figure out the message that I'm trying to get out there that already exists, but putting words to it has been my journey for this year. And finally, just remember that the framework that you're putting together won't be perfect and complete for now. And it won't even be by the end of this portal. It still continues to evolve, but it's going to take the full 2 months to get it all together. So one last thing, with a new Mercury portal comes a new set of workshops. And with the holiday season, I've decided to put out 3 dates for now, one in a week, because it's sort of inside the portal, but not right at the height of all of the activities, hopefully, for everyone, plus a couple between Christmas and New Year's. And then if these don't work for you, I'm leaving one more slot open to let me know what you need. If you're interested, reach out to me and say, would love to do it, but these days don't work, and we'll find something. And I just believe the universe takes care of it. So there we go. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just see comments, questions. Yes, Janelle, unmute yourself.
Yep. Can you go back very quickly and show that list of dates? And so I can get a screenshot.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is that it?
Perfect. Yes.
There we go. All right.
Was that on a page in our book?
No. So, anyone else having the same, wish I could get this all together feelings that I am? Okay. I see a couple nods. That's good. Yeah. And even as stuff starts to come together, I think that is such hard work, because in some ways, the personal planets are really just all about getting ourselves to do things and working on ourselves. But when we have to bring other people along, so much harder. right? And this is that time. So patience, 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 self-love, real care, the best you can. And we will make it through. I also wanted to say that Sorik mentioned last time that she was trying to launch something. And Sorik, do you want to just put up your website address in the chat, or and I see that the chat is up.
Yeah, sure. I can post my link in there. Thank you.
Yeah, I went and checked it out. Congratulations. You got the framework in. That is really awesome. And
I did. Yeah, I've been planning this and working on my website for the better part of this year. And it's finally at the point where I'm starting to share it, and it feels really good.
I love that Venus and Capricorn came full circle for you, and here you are. And it's just a continuing journey. I thought it was really fun. I'd never heard of Astrology Dice. So go check out that blog on her website, and continue to keep us posted, especially as you start putting more things up there in your shop and things like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Let us know how to get the Astrology Dice. I find that fascinating.
I
Yeah,
will.
like tarot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Janelle.
Sorry, one more really quick question. It looks like 12/12 when that Mercury portal opens. I have to get something pretty important out into the world. And Sorik, thank you so much for being the catalyst that just reminded me, like, oh yeah, I've got something that I need to like put out there too. Because I just remembered, would that day be a good day to kind of get something communication out?
Yes. And recognize that because you're doing it within the portal, it will get revised, and it will take you the 2 months, actually, because it's at 8 degrees. We'll give it the full 2 months, actually, to like perfect or work on, get feedback on, and get it into a fuller form that you're happier with. Does that make sense?
It does. Okay. Thank you. And
But it's a
thank you
great
for-
day to like put it out there and say, I'm looking for feedback.
Okay.
Still
Great.
working on this.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Anytime in that portal. And if you don't make that day, it just may be that the energy isn't quite there, and it could be any of those days. It's a matter of kind of looking at your own chart and seeing, where is that hitting for me? Okay. All right, you guys, I'm running late. See you in 2 weeks. If you need anything, let me know. Looking forward to seeing you guys at a workshop, if you can make it, and if you can't and are interested, just come back to me.
Thank you,
Have
Panda.
a great day.
You too. Bye.
I hope you feel prepared to move through these next 2 weeks. Remember to be patient with yourself as well as the people around you. It's something I actually have to remind myself of constantly, that no amount of pushing will get things done before the energy is there to support it. So a little self-love will never hurt. As I mentioned on the call, I'll be offering 3 Mercury portal workshops beginning next week. And there are, you'll find them in the description below, the dates. And I've left one spot open to be determined based on people who can't make those dates and need to find another one. So just reach out to me by email and we'll find something that works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.